You are listening to a song you love. It builds, and then it hits a certain moment, a soaring note, a sudden swell, a voice cracking open, and a wave of tingles sweeps across your scalp and down your arms. The hair stands up, your skin prickles, maybe your eyes sting a little. For 2 or 3 seconds, a piece of music has reached into your body and set off a physical reaction, as real as a shiver in the cold. Stop and notice how strange that is. Nothing has touched you. Nothing is threatening you or feeding you. It is only sound, patterns of air, and yet your body responds as though something important is happening. This feeling has a name, Frisson, and understanding it takes you straight to the oldest, deepest wiring in your brain. Scientists have a wonderfully blunt nickname for it, the skin orgasm, alongside the more formal term, aesthetic chills. And while music is the most reliable trigger, it is not the only one. The same wave can wash over you during a soaring speech, a breathtaking view, or a scene in a film that lands at exactly the right moment. Music simply produces it more dependably than almost anything else, which is why it has become the best window we have into what is really going on inside you. The first surprising fact is that not everyone gets it. Depending on the study, somewhere around half of people reliably feel these musical chills, while a large share feel little or nothing at all, no matter how beautiful the song. If you are someone who gets goosebumps from a favorite piece of music, that is a real and slightly special quirk of how your nervous system is tuned. And if you never do, you are not broken either. You simply have a different kind of wiring. But for the roughly half of us who feel it, the experience is unmistakable, and it follows surprisingly consistent rules. So what actually pulls the trigger? Researchers have found that Frisson is not really about a song being pretty. It is about a song being surprising. The chills tend to strike at a very specific kind of moment, when the music does something your brain did not quite predict. A sudden shift in key, an unexpected harmony, a voice leaping higher than you expected, or a big swell of sound arriving after a long, quiet build. Your brain, it turns out, is constantly predicting music a half second ahead, guessing where the melody is going. Most of the time, it guesses right, and nothing happens. But when a song sets up an expectation and then breaks it in just the right way, delivering something better than what you predicted, that violation of expectation is what lights the fuse. Frisson lives in the gap between what you thought was coming and what actually arrived. Then there are the goosebumps themselves, and they are a genuine little fossil sitting on your skin. The technical name is piloerection, and it is the reflex that makes tiny muscles at the base of each hair contract, pulling the hair upright. In furry animals, this is deeply useful. A cat puffing up to look bigger against a rival, or an animal fluffing its coat to trap warm air against the cold, is using this exact reflex. We inherited it from those furry ancestors, but we lost most of the fur. So when a powerful emotion floods through you, it fires that same ancient pathway, and your body dutifully tries to raise a coat of fur that is no longer there. The goosebumps you feel during a beautiful song are your skin attempting to fluff up against an emotional chill, running a program written for animals that needed the warmth and the size. The reaction is real. The fur is just long gone. That still leaves the deepest question. Why would your brain reward you, physically, for a pattern of sound that does nothing to keep you alive? The answer came from a landmark study, and it points at the same chemical that drives some of the most powerful urges you have. In 2011, researchers at McGill University scanned the brains of people right at the moment their favorite music gave them chills. What they found is that these musical peaks release dopamine, the brain's reward and motivation chemical, the very same messenger involved in the pleasure of food, of sex, of addictive drugs. Music, which offers no obvious survival payoff at all, was hijacking the core reward system of the human brain. And the study revealed something even more elegant about the timing. The dopamine was released in two different places at two different moments. During the buildup, the anticipation just before the big moment, dopamine flooded one part of the reward circuit. Then, at the peak itself, when the chill actually hit, it surged in a second, separate part. Your brain rewards you twice, once for the delicious expectation and once for the payoff. The wanting and the having light up different rooms in the same house. It also explains why you can play a beloved song for the 100th time and still feel that same shiver. Your brain never quite stops predicting, so each listen, it savors the tension of the approach and then the release of the peak, running the same delicious game of expectation all over again. That two-part response explains so much of why we love music the way we do. A great song is essentially a beautifully engineered game of expectation and reward, teasing your prediction machinery, holding back, then delivering. The pleasure is not just in the notes. It is in the tension of nearly knowing what comes next and then being satisfied or thrillingly surprised when it arrives. Your brain treats a well-built piece of music almost the way it treats the promise of a meal, building anticipation and then paying it off in chemistry. There is also the question of who feels Frisson most, and it says something rather flattering about the people who do. Aesthetic chills are consistently linked to a personality trait psychologists call openness to experience, a tendency to be curious, imaginative, emotionally absorbed, and deeply engaged with art and ideas. People high in openness are far more likely to get chills from music, and there appears to be a genetic thread running through it as well, meaning some of us are simply built to be more porous to beauty. The people getting goosebumps in the concert hall are not being dramatic. Their nervous systems are quite literally more responsive to the moment. So the next time a song gives you that sudden wave down your spine, know exactly what is happening inside you. A pattern of sound has set up a prediction in your brain and then broken it in a way that feels wonderful. That surprise has triggered a release of the same reward chemistry that keeps living things chasing food and warmth and each other. And your skin, running a program millions of years old, has tried to raise a coat of fur to meet the feeling. It is one of the strangest and most beautiful things your mind does. Treating a piece of music, something with no bearing on your survival at all, as though it were as vital as anything you have ever needed. Your oldest wiring, moved to shivers by pure beauty. That is why you do what you do. This is Mindling.